Great, good afternoon. Welcome to today's class. So today's format, we will have half the class with our regular strengthening and endurance exercises. The second half of today's class, we are focused on doing some memory activities. So pretty similar to what we did Monday. Today I'm hoping to show you a slightly different memory strategy. And just like everything we do, all the exercises, everything that we do here, they're recommendations, and you don't have to use them. And if they don't work for you, then that's fine. But we just want to use this class as an opportunity just to introduce you, and hopefully maybe you'll see something you haven't seen before, or it's just a slightly different way, and it can help you with whatever you may be doing, whether that's exercising your brain or exercising your bodies. So, remember for today, and it's helpful if you have paper and something to write with, and I just remembered that I didn't give anybody things here. Do you guys need some paper? Probably. Yep, totally forgot that today. So, give me a second, so sorry. I'm gonna grab that real quick. Okay. So sorry about that. So much easier to take care of now. Try to be prepared. Kind of forgot about it for today. All right, my quote for today is, "You cannot swim for new horizons until you have courage to lose sight of the shore." It's a very thought-provoking one today. Most of the time my quotes have been pretty straightforward, but you cannot swim for new horizons until you have courage to lose sight of the shore. So it's another way of saying, if we stay close to what we're comfortable for, right, we're not going to get to that new place, right? It's kind of a more poetic way of saying it. Today's quote is by William Faulkner, who is a fairly famous writer. What he's written, can't quite come up with it right now, but I know I've had to read stuff by him in high school, so you probably have too. So, right, it takes courage, and we kind of forget that sometimes. It takes courage to do something new, right? It's not easy to do. It's not easy to leave what I'm comfortable with and just do something new. So that's why I kind of chose it, right? It's just bringing attention to that fact that if we're going to do something new, we want to get to that new place, we've got to have that courage to leave what I know. And it takes a lot more courage than we think sometimes, right? We're like, sure, I could do that. But when it comes time to actually do it, gosh, you just really want to hold on to what you know, right? You just really want to hold on to what's comfortable, what feels right, because we know it doesn't feel right when we do that new thing, even though we know sometimes it's good for us. So, all right. So thank you for joining us, right? And just think about, have that courage, right? Give yourself that courage, give yourself that pep talk. All right, let's go start with our exercises. Same thing as every time. We know your body is different every day, so just listen to your body, know what your body needs, and don't cause yourself any pain. Make sure you're safe, and make sure you can do what you want to do to challenge your own bodies. All right, these are just suggestions. All right, so before we start for an exercise, make sure that we have our feet flat on the ground. I have enough of my weight in my hips to support my weight. Right, I am supported. I'm not going to fall. I feel safe. I'm going to have a core that's tightened and a straight back. If you guys saw me doing that, you were nice not to point it out and tell me I was doing it wrong. I have to concentrate and not cheat. I don't normally cheat on that one, so I don't know why today. Today I was like, yeah, let's cheat. No, that I didn't. That's not the point of this. Oh, see, I did it again. I should stop talking for a minute. Hold on. Okay, oh, no talking. Okay, let's call that one good. Because I can't seem to stop cheating. Okay, shoulder rolls. We have shoulder rolls. I don't get to use those. All right, so you can bring both together. Okay, roll your shoulders forward. You can just do one. Take turns, doing one on each side. Right. Sometimes you can kind of give a little bit of help. Right. You might have to support underneath that elbow and try and get your other shoulder up a little bit. And then don't forget going backwards or the opposite direction you guys were doing before. Keep up your breathing. I know when I really get going in my exercises, I have a tendency to start holding my breath. So I'm really good at the beginning, but once I really get going, I forget to breathe. So just putting a gentle reminder out there. It kind of helps open up your chest as you take those breaths. Alright, we're going to move into our arms and hands. So we'll do our shoulders, right, with our shoulder flexion. Right, so either one at a time, right, or both at the same time. Or you can support. Okay. Yeah. Lots of different ways you could do that. Okay. And then just a reminder, if you want to try and really push yourself, right? I imagine I've got a big old fluffy marshmallow here and I'm squishing it towards the ceiling. And then I'm squishing it onto the floor. Right? You're just kind of giving yourself your own resistance when you kind of imagine that. Yeah, if you're trying that, can you kind of feel how you have to move your muscles a little harder? If you're pretending you're squishing a really big marshmallow? Are you squishing that marshmallow, girl? Yeah. Okay. It's actually harder than it sounds, right? Okay. Just a couple more. Like I said, if you just want to do one where you're kind of pushing against, and then the rest you just do normal, okay? Whatever you feel like your body can handle. All right. Okay, give those arms a second. We're going to move elbows now. Right, really it's our biceps. Okay. So we're going to bend in the elbows, so bring our arms up, and then extend them down. If you need to here, you can do this. Yeah. All right. All the motions we do, as you go in both directions, you can always give yourself that self-resistance where you pretend that you're pushing against something, right? I just like to picture a big fluffy marshmallow because it's kind of fun. But, you know, if you've got like a big old grape you're pushing, like whatever floats your boat. I just think if I had a really giant marshmallow in front of me, I just think how fun that would be to squish it. So, I know that's kind of a weird idea. So, maybe a pillow makes more sense. Right. Just whatever you can get to imagine pushing harder when you're going towards yourself and pushing harder when you're pushing away. Yeah. Yeah. And I see that we're all doing a nice job, slow movement. Yeah. Very intentional, working our to do that. I appreciate the reminders. We gotta breathe. I was holding my breath a little. Even after I just said we shouldn't do it. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and open this out. Okay, and we're gonna do our fingers now. So bring them into a fist, and then stretch them out as hard as you can. Bring them into a fist. Right, and that's slow. Right. It's just when we go nice and slow through the motion, right, we are making our muscle be very controlled and making it work hard for the entire motion. When we go fast, we only go to some parts of the motion, right? And you can tell we're not really using the full muscle. Doing it slower to make sure that we're really making the whole muscle work for the entire motion we can. Right. And I see you're visualizing that muscle moving. You're watching it. You're visualizing that movement. Right? You're seeing that movement. Okay. Keep that up. That's good. One more. All right. Go ahead and let your arms and your hands relax. Okay. Legs and core. I think you guys know this is not my favorite. Oh, but it's important. Okay, so we're going to bring up our leg, right? And you're going to make a circle, right? A bigger circle is going to be more challenging, right? So if you just want to make a little circle, okay, you can choose which level circle is easy or is the right for you. Okay. We're also supposed to try and get some ankle in there. Yeah. You beat me to it, Bob. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah. So same thing. You're visualizing. You're seeing your movement. Right. So challenge, right? Is a big slow circle. I'm not going to be able to do it very long. I was cheating. I sped up through the parts that was hard. Right? You know you're cheating when you go nice and slow, and then you go really fast. You know that was the hard part. So, right? Or you let gravity just pull it down. You're right, like, okay. So, okay, go ahead and get your leg down. We have to do the opposite circle now. So if you were going clockwise with your foot, then you're going to go counterclockwise, okay, or vice versa, whichever way you were doing. All right, same leg, just other direction. Okay. Sometimes I forget to say, right, if you need to bend your knee and still make the circle. Sometimes I think that's actually harder, but some people it might be easier. I feel like that was a little harder for me, honestly. So, ankle. I always forget the ankle. All right, go ahead and let the right leg down. Now we're going to move our left leg. Same motions, same idea. So, make your slow circle. Try to hug your ankle if you can. A bigger circle is going to be the challenge. But if you just need to make a small circle. And watch yourself. If you find yourself speeding up, force yourself to slow that down where you want to speed up. And really work that muscle. Right? If our goal is strength, that's where you want to try and push yourself. But obviously you know your limits. Right? We don't want you to be in pain. We want you to be safe. Okay, go ahead and give that leg a second. Have to go the other direction. bring back, right? I said any muscles we're moving, you can picture that movement like pushing a marshmallow, right? Like you can push against yourself. So in this case, you'd be pretending like the marshmallow's in your lap and you're pushing against it. Okay. You can actually push against your knee if you want to give yourself more resistance, but it's also enough just to imagine if you've got a marshmallow in your lap and you're trying to just push it with your knees, right? Put a little index in it with your knees. Right? Okay. So let's let that one relax. Now we have our core hold. I always go that direction. I never quite towards you guys. I always end up putting my back to you guys. It's rude. All right. So our core hold. I know I don't model this great. I'm not very good at it. So I'm gonna hold our arms out, push your legs up, keep your core engaged, and try to hold it as long as you can. Okay, and remember the other version is if you can't hold it, you can just go back right to it. Okay, and just do repetitions of it. I don't think one is any harder or easier than the other one. Okay. Well, no, I really think all of it's just hard. Go ahead and let it relax. Let's go ahead and take some deep breaths before we do our eye muscle exercises and our mouth exercises. So deep breath in and deep breath out. Again, in and out. Yeah, I always think 2 is enough. I need one more. In and out. Okay. Of course, if you always need to take more, you're ready for your drink of water, right? You don't have to wait for me. I know I probably don't stop quite enough for drinks or for deep breaths. So, right. You do you. If you needed that, then take care of yourself. All right, our eye exercises. This is where we're going to keep our head still. We're going to keep our eyes on our thumb in front of us, and we're going to make as big a circle as we can, following our thumb with our eyes. So go ahead and put your thumb out, put your eyes on your thumb, and make your circle with your thumb. Same thing as all our other muscles. We don't want to cheat and speed through parts of it because it feels hard. Try and keep the same speed for the entire circle. Go ahead and bring that to center. Let your eyes relax. Close your eyes and bring your hand down. We're going to do the same exercise, except we're going to move our thumb in the other direction. So if you did clockwise circles, then this time you'll do a counterclockwise circle, or vice versa. Same thing. When you hold your thumb out, you're going to keep your head still and keep your eyes on your thumb and watch your thumb as it moves. So when you're ready, go ahead and put your thumb up, open your eyes, right, and make that circle with your thumb in the other direction. more video. Okay, I hope we're still there. Okay, sorry, you can close your eyes, relax your eyes. Hopefully that's all good out there. Sorry if you lost me for a second out there, I don't know. I am not a tech whiz, so looks okay. All right. Where were we? Okay. Next one, we're going to keep our thumbs still, and we're going to move our head side to side, and still keep our eyes on our thumb. So when you're ready, go ahead and put your thumb up. Okay. Look at your thumb, and now move your head right, and keep your eyes on your thumb, and then to the left, and keep your eyes on the thumb. Go ahead and close your eyes. Relax your hand for a second. We have one more for our eyes. Pretty much the same thing as that. We're going to keep our thumb still. And our eyes are focused on our thumb, but we're going to move our head up and down as we keep our eyes on our thumb. So when you're ready, go ahead and put up your thumb and open your eyes. And now move our head up while still looking at your thumb and then down. Still keeping our eyes on our thumb. Go ahead and close your eyes and let your eyes relax. And we will move into our mouth exercises. I'm going to sneak in a drink. All right. So we start our mouth exercise, just massaging our cheek and our jaw. Oh, I think I just pushed a funny face at you, didn't I, Bob? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I got carried away. So, our first one is opening our mouth as wide as we can. Right? So we can only get better from where we were last time in terms of trying to do it kind of slow in slow motion. Right? It's a weird kind of feeling, but it's really pushing our brains to think about the motion and be very intentional about how we're controlling in that motion. Right? So just slow motion. Open and close, right? Just as in slow motion as we can. Because honestly, we move it fast all the time. When we're talking, when we're eating, we are using those muscles very quickly all the time. I wasn't going to say the word this time. But I think I'm still going to see them anyway, even though I'm not saying the word. Okay, we'll just do a few of these before I put you guys to sleep. Yeah, just a very different way of feeling your mouth muscles, right? I saw. All right. Okay, next one is smile real big. All right, so try to slow the motion down and pretend like you're doing it in slow motion, smiling, and then back to neutral. All right, so. Okay, next we have our tongue. Okay, so you've already practiced this one slow though, it's a little bit easier. All right, so tongue from corner to mouth to corner to mouth, and slow as we can make that motion. Right. And then our tongues up to our nose, and then down to our chin. All right, we're done with our tongue. And our last mouth exercise is our frown and our swallow. So I think the frown is the hardest for me to go slow. Like going down is nice and slow, but then bringing it back up to just a regular neutral mouth, I have a really hard time doing that slow. So and then swallow. And we really can't slow down the swallow, so don't worry about that. But the frown, we're trying to kind of make that a slow motion frown and then back up to neutral. Okay, just one more. All right. Okay, we are done with the exercise part of today's class, or rather, I should say the physical exercise part of our class today. So the second half now is exercising our brains, right? So just like everything else that we're doing in the class, right? It's just a recommendation. It's just another way to look at it, and hopefully maybe it can make you think of something else that you hadn't thought of before, or maybe you already do it and it's just helping you think of how to do it better, right? There is no wrong, there is no right, right? It is whatever works for you. To take this class is that opportunity to see if we can help you with more, right? And just, we want to exercise our brain, exercise our bodies. So we want to even that out and make sure that we're trying to do both. All right, so before we start, right, just a little mindfulness exercise, just to help us, again, that mindfulness is, if we're really going to be using our brains, we want to stop having distractions. We really want to be focused on being present, and it improves our attention, it improves our concentration. So first, we're just focused on our breath. So take some deep breaths in and feel the breath. Feel your body and visualize all that oxygen getting to all your body parts that it needs. And that breath is bringing all that oxygen in. And your exhale is getting rid of all those things our body doesn't need. And our breath is so good for our bodies. Just feeling my body, just aware of how my body is, where my body is. And my breath filling me with oxygen. And now the mindfulness strategy I wanted to try today is called See, Hear, Feel. I'm not going to have time to quite go through all of them, but so we named 5 things we can feel, 5 things we can see, and 5 things that I can hear. And it's okay if you have to name the same thing, right? So if I can only hear, right, like I can hear the lights, I can hear the traffic outside, I can hear some footsteps, and I hear a paper rustling, and I'm just going to rename, I can hear the lights buzzing, right? It's okay. Again, mindfulness is about, we're just here, this is what's present with me. Then I move on to 5 things I feel. So I feel full from lunch, I feel the hard table under my hands, right? I feel my weight sitting in my bones of my pelvis. I feel a little bit of gurgling in my stomach. I just ate lunch. And I feel happy to be here. Okay. And I see Tina, I see Lewis, I see Bob, I see Carol, I see a napping Marvin. Yep. Okay. So this strategy, I go through 5 of each, and then I would go to 4. And I can name the same things I just did. So if I do 4, then I can go, I hear the lights buzzing, I hear the traffic outside, I hear the lights buzzing, because I keep going back to that, and I can hear like a paper rustling, right? So we just go through those. I don't have quite enough time to go down to 1, but I just want to introduce another way that you can use. Hope that strategy makes sense. Honestly, I use that one when I'm trying to go to sleep. And my brain just wants to think about things and like, I just can't go to sleep because my brain is like, I need to go grocery shopping, or I haven't bought Christmas presents yet, or what am I going to, what if it snows tomorrow and I'm worried, and like all these things that want to go on in my mind, and I'm like, I just want to go to sleep right now. So I use this one, the one that I just described now, I use it almost every night, honestly, because I can't get my brain to just be quiet, right? And that's mindfulness. So we just want our mind to be quiet. I probably just ruined it because now I did all this other talking, so I'm sorry. But it's super useful, right? It's personally useful to me, and so I'm hoping, right, that's something that I can pass on to you here, that if you just can't get your brain to be quiet, just that 5 things you hear, 5 things you feel, 5 things you can see, 4, and just keep going, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you stay quiet at 1, start back over. Go back to 5 and just keep repeating it to get your mind quiet. All right. After our strategy. Okay, today's strategy is for memory. So I brought back a lot of the same objects that we had on Monday. So I'm going to show our camera, then I'll come around to you guys real quick. Okay, so you guys can see them closer. So let me just, I think, apology. All right, so I'll kind of, I'll describe them. There's a quarter, a little thing of floss, a pen, nail clippers, a bar of soap, a hairbrush, a chapstick, and I think I have a hair tie. I think that's all I've got on my board right now. Okay. Those of you out there, I'll be right back. Right, so you didn't have to necessarily remember these. I just wanted you guys to see them before I talk about the strategy. So one of the best memory strategies is to tell a story instead of just making a list, right? So a strategy, when you're trying to remember something, and it doesn't have to be objects, right? It could even be, well, you're less likely to do it with a grocery list, but it can really be anything you're trying to remember. It could be somebody gave you directions and you're trying to remember those directions as much as you can, right? One way that our brains remembers information is when it means something, right? Because we remember our family, right? We remember our friends. We remember a smell, right? Or a song makes us think of something, right? Our memory works when we have something that means something, okay? And it works best if it's like, I imagine people I know. So for these objects, okay, I would make up a story. So the story I would make up is that I'm going to have lunch with my sister. So before I go have lunch with my sister, I need to brush my hair, right? And I need to put up my hair in a ponytail before I go out to lunch with her, because it was a mess in the morning. So, I mean, I at least need to look like I put an effort into my hair before I left the house. Anyway, so going out to lunch with my sister, I used to brush, put up my hair, put in a hair tie. I went downtown and I parked on the street. Oh, I forgot to talk about the quarter. Anyway, and so I parked on the street and I put a quarter. Well, I had to put more than a quarter because I don't eat that fast. And so I put a quarter in the meter, right? I had to put a quarter in the meter when I went to lunch with my sister. And when I put that quarter in the meter, though, I broke a nail, so I had to clip it, right? I had to clip my nail because when I was shoving it in there, I was in such a hurry. I was already late. I spent way too long on my hair. I was late putting it in, so I broke my nail. I had to clip my nail, right? All right, you guys can kind of see like the funny stories you can make, right? But you see how I'm putting my sister in it, right? And I'm I'm going kind of, and you can't do, I'm sorry, you can't do it, but if you're touching the objects, that helps too, okay? And I know I just don't have enough for everybody, sorry. Okay, so then my story. Oh yeah, I broke my nail. Okay, so I went to the restaurant. I ordered my meal, but I went to go wash my hands because, right, COVID, wash your hands all the time, especially before you eat. I know this is a little bit hard because we can't actually eat in restaurants now, but you have to pretend a little. Okay, So I washed my hands with soap, and I ordered my lunch. For lunch, I had salad and pork chops, and I had cake for dessert. But I could tell I still had some food between my teeth, so I had a floss. So good thing I had that in my bag. And when I was eating with my sister, we were eating because I wanted to know what her family wanted for Christmas. So I wrote down my list of what my niece wanted and what my nephew wanted and what she wanted. So I wrote down the Christmas list so I knew what to shop for. We finished eating. It was super yummy. I had a good meal. But it is winter, so I put on some chapstick afterwards because my lips were really dry. Right? So now, after I told that story, what objects were on my board? Could you tell me what was on my board based on my story? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are 8 things there, but right, like I would just replay the story when I'm trying to remember now. I'm like, all right, I said I put up my hair. So yeah, I had a hair tie and a brush. Then so you see me doing the motion again, right? Like I put the quarter, so there's a quarter. I put the quarter in the meter, and then I said I broke my nail, right? So I had to use nail clippers. Nail clippers is another. Then what did I say in my story? Went in, I washed my hands before it was time to eat, so the soap. Then I ate, it was good. Then I said, oh yeah, stuck in my teeth, so I had the floss. I needed the floss. And then with the floss, I was asking my sister for what she wanted for Christmas. So I had a pen. There's a pen. And then I said it's really dry. So I put on chapstick. Chapstick was my last one, right? So it's a little easier to remember story, right? Because don't we tell stories to each other all the time, right? But do I ever just go up to someone and say, banana, bear, chair, and tomato? No, right? We don't talk to people that way. We don't just talk in lists. We tell stories, right? We think in stories. We talk in stories. They have feeling, right? So, and mine was pretty just like straightforward and just like every day. But gosh, if you love to be goofy, right? I could tell a story about the circus, and I could say something about pink elephants. I mean, right? Like whatever your story. If you love history, right? You love history, then talk about a president, right? Or a war. Like make that your story, right? Whatever you love, make that your story for your objects, right? Okay, do you feel ready to try with a different set of objects? Okay, give me just a second to get my board ready. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Okay, so look at these objects. I'll come closer. I'll come closer too. Let me just do a little bit on the camera. Ooh, nope. Oh. Okay. So you've got 6 objects you're trying to remember. It's a little hard for me to describe them fast. So try to tell a story with these objects. No writing yet. Okay. Right, so I have a Pima card. I have a spoon, a fork, dollar bill, a bowl, and a squishy ball. Yeah. And yeah, everybody out there, I'll be right back. Do you need it closer, Bob? No? Okay. Can you see it here? Maybe another minute? Another minute is enough to make a story? All right. Let's see. So, right, part of this is just how do I remember what was there? Right. So, how many objects do you remember, Bob? 5? 5? Okay. And I have 6. I have 6 on the board. So that's most of them. And Tina, how many objects do you remember? Yeah, you're going through your story. Five? Oh, all of them. All of them. Okay. All right. What about you, Lewis? And I know you got a late start,
4,
so
5, no 6.
okay. Yeah, and actually, I see that you're still, you remember it because now you're adding it to your story. I can see you doing that, right? Okay. So I know you weren't here Monday, but you guys were here. So do you feel like this was a little easier to remember, just random objects, than just what you had done before when you did this with me on Monday? Yeah. And what about you, Bob? What did you think about making a story? Did it help a little? So if we hadn't done a story, and I just said, remember as many of these as you can, right? How many do you think you would have gotten, Bob? 4? Okay. All right. What about you, Tina? Same? Probably 4 or 5, kind of like Monday? What about you, Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not knowing what's going on, it was a little bit easier.
Uh-huh.
Because we went through it before. So, repetition.
Right. 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 And like today's focus was just on a slightly different way that we can try to think about when we're trying to remember something. Right? And I know it's not usually a natural thing to just like look at objects and try to remember them. But, right, it could be a phone number, right? I know now we can just like write it down or like just put it in our phones. But if those weren't handy, you could use the same strategy, right? You could be like, whatever the number is, but you could just add that to your story, right? You could be like, I saw 7 fire trucks in front of the store when I left, and there were 4 policemen, right? You could just do the numbers that you're trying to remember if you had a phone number or you had an address, okay? Does that kind of make sense how you can try to use it with other things too, and not just random objects? It's just hard to figure out what I could present to do it. So hopefully you felt like you could remember more. Do you want to share your story? Does anyone want to share your story? You don't have to. You don't have to. But
Okay. After playing cards, I paid $8 for a ball at the store, and then grabbed a bite to eat some soup with the soup was chunky, so I had a spoon and a fork.
yeah, yeah, you got it all. And I know you remembered it because I had already put this away and wasn't letting you look at it, and I knew you were adding more to your story. So hopefully this shows you, right, making a story, because we tell stories all the time, is a much better memory strategy than just, here's my list, okay? And the more personal you can make it, right, you said I bought, right? Because if it's somebody else, it doesn't have as much meaning, right? Not that we're selfish, and not that at all, but if I put myself in that place, all right, it helps me kind of see those things. So, gosh, I took that break to go get paper, but you guys didn't need paper after all. I didn't know. I'll try to be more prepared on Friday. Yeah, so today's strategy, like 1 to 5, how would you rate this strategy for helping you remember? Like a 5 would be like, yeah, I think I really liked it and I might try to use that when I need to remember something. And a 1 was, well, you know, it didn't really click with me and I don't really feel like that strategy works for me. Maybe a 5? Okay. And if not, like I'm not right, no wrong. I just want to see if I can give some suggestions. And memory is tough, right? It's not easy. How would you rate it, Tina? 4? Okay, yeah. How about you, Louis? How would you rate the strategy from 1 to 5?
Describe
Like, how, yeah, this making a story to remember things.
I think it's great.
A 3? Oh yeah, no, from 1 to 5, yeah. Like a 1 is,
I am saying 3.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good, right? It just something new. And exercise our brains, right? Just a little something different, and plus it is kind of a long time to do exercise for an hour. So, all right. Tomorrow, right, rest of the week, we're still going to keep exercising our brains for the second half of class. So helpful if you have something to write with, but I mean, I guess we didn't really get to it today. Right, 10 o'clock is always mindfulness and stretching. And we'll see you again tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Right, first half stretches, second half exercise in our brains. All right, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining, everyone. I hope this was good. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.